I am Detective Superintendent Rob Hall from the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit. I intend to read a statement on behalf of the family today. We are devastated by the loss of our loved ones and are horrified to hear what Nicholas had planned. He had completely isolated himself from us over the past year, and we had no knowledge of his intentions. We now see the deaths of Juliana, my son Kyle, and daughter Giselle had much more meaning and importance. Their deaths and the fast response of Bedfordshire Police stopped any other family in the community going through the pain we have suffered. For now, we would ask people to remember Juliana, Kyle and Giselle for the people they were. Julie was a strong, loving mother to her 4 children, who were her absolute world. In her spare time, she was a keen athlete and enjoyed raising money for charity. Kyle was a kind and funny young man who loved football and boxing. He was a big talent with massive potential. Giselle was a beautiful soul and caring young girl with an infectious smile. She was also an exceptional pupil at school and was loved dearly by her friends. We would like to thank the police for their thorough investigation and for supporting us through this difficult time. We would also like to thank the wider community who have been tremendously supportive and generous with donations to help with funeral arrangements. We know that this awful incident has affected others as well as ourselves, but we now want to be able to grieve and try to move on as a family in private. I'll now hand you over to DCI Sam Khanna, who is the Senior Investigating Officer.
Our thoughts today are first and foremost with Juliana, Kyle and Giselle and all those who knew and loved them. All 3 have been at the absolute forefront of our thoughts throughout this whole investigation. Juliana, aged 48, Kyle, aged 16, and Giselle, aged just 13, were brutally murdered by someone they loved, who they should have been able to trust. It is their names we should be saying and remembering today and in the future, rather than the person who carried out such sickening crimes. It's been incredibly difficult for their loved ones in the aftermath of what happened, and I would ask that they be left to process their grief in peace. In my entire policing career, which has included many years spent on the major crime team, I've never encountered anyone capable of such horrific acts while showing no remorse. I've been utterly shocked and appalled by the actions and plans of the offender in this case, and I'm pleased that this truly evil individual will serve a significant proportion of his life behind bars. This has been an incredibly difficult and complex investigation, and I would like to thank all the officers and staff involved in achieving this result today. That includes the officers and paramedics who displayed such bravery responding to the initial 999 call. The crime scene investigators who worked painstakingly to recover evidence from such a horrendous scene. The digital investigators who had to review some of the most awful material from the offender's devices. And our major crime team who meticulously pieced together the evidence to help secure the conviction and jail sentence. Their professionalism and dedication has allowed us to keep fighting for the victims, to get justice and ensure the person responsible is not able to cause any more harm.
I am Sian Saunders, Senior Crown Prosecutor for the Crown Prosecution Service. Our thoughts today are with those who knew and loved Juliana, Giselle and Kyle. Nicholas Prosper's cold and calculated killing of his mother, brother and sister, and the revelation that he planned to shoot a class of school children and their teachers has left his family devastated and an entire community in shock. The case presented by the Crown Prosecution Service, supported by a detailed investigation by the police, laid bare the scale of his planning and the extent of his disturbing interest in mass murder. The evidence in this case was indisputable, and, unable to defend his actions, he admitted to his crimes. It is beyond comprehension that a young man would want to kill those closest to him and target innocent young children. His clear lack of empathy and remorse is highly unusual and deeply concerning. We recognise the deep distress and anxiety felt by those in the local community upon learning the detail of these chilling crimes. Now that the criminal proceedings are concluded, we hope that the loved ones of Juliana, Giselle and Kyle can begin to rebuild their lives.